Right, guys, I'll let you start first.
So, Craig is the joint head coach along with Eric Hardman, and Kit is a very important player in the group, so we thought we'd get them in today and ask them a little bit about Wembley. But the first question I need to ask Mr. Richards is Harry Maguire. His turnaround in form's unbelievable.
Yep, I am a Man United fan, and I think I said at the start, I'm Maguire, what come good, and you're all Liverpool fans in here, aren't you? Yeah, I knew he'd come round and turn it round. I said that, and you didn't believe me, so, you know, good job we kept him.
Harry
Yeah,
You can do everything. Cross a ball, score a goal, whatever you want.
yeah, except win games.
Talking about winning games, obviously, like you're doing really well. You're in debt with the team this season, and you're heading to the Challenge Cup finals. What sort of test will that be?
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough test for the girls at Wembley. We face Wigan, which is fantastic. It's we've never played them at Wembley before, and Wigan have recruited really well. They've gone overseas and brought in 5 Aussies to strengthen what was already a strong side. So, yeah, we're expecting a real big test, but you know we're determined to get the job done.
Obviously, you've been in the role previously as head coach of the women. What's changed over the years? Like, what's improved?
I think just the knowledge of the girls. The journey started a long time ago, and when we brought the girls over from what was community rugby, it was even though they were really talented, they effectively had to learn a different way to play. And you know, we worked hard with them initially to get the base strong. Matty did a really good job coming in and kept the ball rolling, and you know, he does at a really good level now. You know, our goal is to win, but it's also to get as many girls in the national team as possible, and that's continued. That's worked really well for us, and I think the biggest change is just the knowledge, and I think some of the girls are recognising that they're coming towards the back end of their career, and their determination's not faltered. They're really determined to finish strong, and you know, one of the key things is retaining the cup for the 5th time in a row as well.
Yeah. And what obviously you've made a few changes this year. A few older ones have moved on, and you've brought younger ones like Katie in. What's that given to the group?
Yeah, listen, I think the real important thing about the side, and probably our biggest role, was can we continue winning, but can we bring through some of the young girls that are in the academy. You know, as a club we're really well known for having a strong academy and bringing through our own players, and for me it's been fantastic because a lot of the academy players, you know, some of them are recruited but played a part in bringing them here. So, you know, what it adds is energy. It adds energy to the group, and what we've also tried to do is create competition for places, because I think one of the things you can be when you're winning is complacent, and that was one of the things we weren't going to stand for. And one of the ways to solve it is to bring in competition, but also to bring in some young exciting players. You know, Katie's been in for a while now, established herself, she's made the England squad, but even for Katie, bringing in somebody like Caitlin Mailer, who's another really good young looker, to put Katie under pressure is really key to get the best out of Katie and the best out of others as well.
And obviously, like we've worked a lot over the years with like development and stuff like that. I think Katie came on development when she was 14 year old. What has been the progression like, and how have you found the step up, shall we say, to a first team level?
Yeah, so I think I started on the development camps when I was a young teenager. Craig and a few of the other foundation coaches that are still here were my coaches then. Obviously coming up into the first team now, it's a lot tougher. You've got to work hard, you've got to make sure you're doing everything you need to be doing, eating properly, gymming properly. But it's nice to see the development camp now as I'm a coach on it, so it looks a lot different from what it did when I was younger. So I think we can have up to 100 girls at some of the half-term camps, where when I did it there was about 12 of us all from the same team who just turned up and had a bit of coaching. So yeah, it looks really good now.
And obviously you're with the England team quite regularly now. What are the differences you noticed from, say, moving up to England, or is the coaching style pretty similar?
I think parts of it are similar. Obviously the intensity needs to be a bit higher because going against teams like Australia and New Zealand, looking into the World Cup in 2026, that's going to be a lot more intense than a normal season that we're in now, with games coming within a few days rather than a few weeks. So yeah, I think it's just more intense, a bit faster.
So what's your thoughts on about going back to Wembley? Because I think last year was your first time that you sampled that, or was it the second?
The second.
Second time you sampled it. So you followed in the footsteps of Tara Jones now. Now you're the front runner. What's your thoughts about going back to Wembley?
I think for us all it's a special occasion. Just because it's the third time that we'll be going down doesn't make it any less special than the first or the second. I think we all know we've got the job in hand to do. We need to go and beat Wigan, because that's the main thing, isn't it? If you don't go down to win, then it's just another game. So we've got to make sure we're on it, we're still focused, and we prepare right for it.
What about you, Craig? What was your stress levels like in that semi-finals? Because I kept seeing the pictures of you on this TV screen, and you looked as though you was knowing knuckles at one spell. But I certainly saw when Faye got that bit of a shine that she's got now. That must have put a bit of pressure on, but at the same time, I know you've got faith in the girls that you can bring on, and you can shift the team around that brought it home. So what was it like in the last 10 minutes? It must have been very, very stressful because they were coming hard at the end.
Yeah, listen, it's really strange. People always talk about stress in games like that. Is there a certain amount of stress? 100%. Is it really bad? No, not really. When we took over, we realised that we strengthened the side first and foremost. We brought in new players. But there's a certain amount of confidence that you get when you know that you're prepared well, and the girls have prepared really well. They've worked really hard, and you could never say it in the press because you'd be called big-headed. But we know how hard they've worked. We know how detailed we are as coaches. We know how detailed these guys have been as players. They're bought into our system, and even though we got a few easy wins before the York game, we had a lot of confidence. One of the key things we did, having watched last year's grand final and lost to York, is we made sure that we identified the areas where we weren't as strong as what we needed to be, and part of that was down the middle, part of that was how we defended, part of that was how we kicked the ball and exited, and we've worked really hard on it. So in a strange way, we knew the game was going to be tough, but we knew that we'd prepared well for it. And it sounds mad, but even if we'd have lost that game, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, because sometimes in life you do the best you can, and if you know that you've truly done the best you can, you've left no stone unturned, you can deal with the losses. But by working hard, it put us in a position where we really thought we could win. We weren't overconfident, we weren't cocky, but we thought we'd done everything where we could win, and that helps the nerves.
You certainly have prepared well, because I noticed that York were having another target, a poor Phoebe Hook, trying to put the ball across high again. I think she only spilled the odd one, but this time she was better prepared and she was taking it away strong, and she was getting the support of all the girls around her. But I know it's hard for you guys to prepare for things like that, especially when you've got the sun in your eyes, things like that. It ain't easy. So, but it's now stepping it up a level ready for Wembley. But this weekend it's back to square one again. You're back to business end of the season again. So we've actually got, ladies and gentlemen, a double header here on Saturday. So for those who you can get down, we've got the academy girls at 11:45, and then the main event will be the ladies themselves, and they're both playing Leeds Rhinos. So again, I think that's going to be a bit of a test for you again, Craig, because I know Leeds didn't perform like they normally do, but that's not to say that on Saturday they're going to come out stinging, wanting to prove a point. Are you going to prepare any different from that, or is it just business as usual? We still do the same processes?
Yeah, I'll try not to be too long with this answer, but I'll address the first comment, because I always find it really interesting that the press and everybody has talked about Phoebe up dropping 2 balls, and listen, there's 13 guys on the pitch. There's a role that other players have to play to make them catches easier. The sun was bad, but if you take away the 2 drop balls, she had an absolutely awesome game. She did loads of good stuff. So one of the things we won't do with Phoebe is focus on 2 mistakes, because in life we all make mistakes. She did a lot of fantastic stuff. She's been in great form and already scored a bucket load of tries. In terms of Leeds, again, every time Leeds play us here, it's a real tough game, and we'll expect nothing different. They'll be hurting after their loss against Wigan, because I think for them it will have been really unexpected. So they'll want to right a wrong and come here and prove a point. But you know, we had a really light session last night, but we'll make sure that we prepare well, because it's important that we get off to a really strong start in the league now that we're in league, and see where it takes us, because you know, the goal at the end of the day is to try and finish as high up as possible.
And how was the mood in the camp after that win on Sunday? I noticed there was some quite good celebrations going on, Katie, and in the middle of it was poor old Faye. How's she doing?
Yeah, I think she's good. Obviously she had a bit of a knock on the head, but I think she'll be good to go soon. I bet she can't wait to get back on the field with us all. I think the energy in the camp's been good for the past few weeks, especially leading up to the semi-final, and it's only got better since the game. Obviously I think we're quite a good group of girls who like to hype up on energy, and we've got a lot of people, a lot of characters in the group who kind of show that energy. So it's just been energetic, nice and relaxed. Yeah.
I know we've 1 or 2 of the superstars in the team who like to regular post on Instagram and all these, who are flying the flag. Like, would we name 1 or 2 of those who you think are the characters?
Yeah, so
Rudgy for one.
Yeah, I was going to say Rudgy. Rudgy's the first one to get a TikTok on or an Instagram post down, isn't she? Or a dance or something. I think Shona's probably not far behind that either.
Yeah.
Shani in the group, not necessarily on social media, but Shani is a good laugh in camp as well.
I've seen some of her celebrations. She just get a bit wild with the celebrations at the end.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. She goes a little bit off the scale. Gaz?
Yeah, just one question to both of you really. Like, we know we've got a good team. We're well organised. Who would be, if you could pick anybody from any other team, who would be the choice for you both, or can you not talk about that?
Thanks, Gaz. Listen, real tough one to answer. Obviously, I coached England for a few years, and there was a few fantastic girls and fantastic players. The players that always came to mind for me were Vicky Molyneux. Unfortunately, she's a Wiganer. Courtney Winfield-Hill, fantastic player. Georgia Roach. There were so many. It would be a tough one. I would have always liked to have seen Courtney Hill in a Saints shirt, but at the same time, one of the things that we need is strong opposition. And even though I enjoyed coaching her at England, it's always a joy to coach against good players as well, because that tests your squad and it tests you as individuals. So, you know, pretty much at the moment we're always looking at strength in the side, but at the same time we're really happy with what we've got at the moment.
Yeah, I think obviously one of the things that we do well as a team is that we're so close together, we've got such a good bond, and I think that's something you can't just bring someone in from another team and just expect them to be a part of that bond. So I think the bond we've got is nice and strong, and I don't think we really need to change that too much.
Good answers there, very good answers. I think, Gaz, it's time to ask the $6 million question, isn't it?
Well, it may well be. So you're at a dinner party that you're hosting.
Am I paying?
It's a Yorkshire, he doesn't pay.
Beef on toast.
Yeah, that's more like it.
If you know Craig well, you know he doesn't find his wallet regular.
They keep saying his wallet's as tight as a submarine's door. You can't get any tighter than that.
Don't pay me enough.
So if you could invite 3 guests, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
I'll stay away from family because it's an easy one. But first one would be Muhammad Ali, the boxer. I'd just love to just sit and listen to him. I thought it was really his charisma, the way he talked, the buzz that he brings. Would be huge, and he's just always been a person that I'd have loved to have met, particularly when he was in his prime. So Muhammad Ali would be the first. You went 3, did you?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Wow. Dennis Betts.
You trying to upset him now?
I've played against Dennis a few times. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. So he could come along, but he'd have to foot the bill.
The option of the game.
Davis on the wing.
No, our wingers are quicker, to be fair, and better, so she can stay there. we really don't need her. No, on a serious note, Nelson Mandela as well would be somebody that I'd love to spend some time with and just listen to his story of kind of what he went through, to be fair. And I don't know who the third person would be, but it'd have to be a comic, somebody to make us laugh. So it'd be probably something like Richard Pryor, somebody like that, so that no matter what, we're having a good time and we're having a laugh and we get into party.
Right, Katie, your turn now.
I've been trying to think, I don't know how to top that. Craig's pointed at him. No, you made me say you last time.
He didn't pay enough, did he?
Didn't pay anything. I don't know. These questions are really hard to answer. These are harder than the questions about rugby.
Is there somebody that you looked up to as a kid and thought, yeah, I want to be?
Literally, yeah. I don't know, I feel like James Roby's got a lot of rugby knowledge that I'd probably have a good chat with him about rugby.
Yeah.
But I'm probably in the same boat as you, a comedian or someone funny, yeah. I don't know who specifically though. I don't know, I struggle with this question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're sitting on the fence for the third one, you don't know?
Yeah, James Roby, a couple of funny people, yeah.
A couple of funny people, so you like Craig though.
Go on, man.
So, can we say a big thank you to Katie Mottershead and Craig Richards for coming along today and giving us the time and being really good support to all. Well done, guys, thanks for coming.